Our big old Sky Daddy, if you will, is rumbling through. So if you hear rumbles or the like, I promise I'm not violating Xenia. Sky Daddy party rolling through. Just FYI, in case we hear anything. We are at the conclusion, the final track of Volume 2 of Stories from STYX, Don't You Run, Oh Eros. And this one, I think, will be interesting, because again, I have not been entirely certain what exactly the theme is supposed to be, or if there is kind of a thematic through line for Volume 2. I mean, Volume 1, very clearly centering on kind of the Hades Persephone story. Volume 2, while called The First Echoes, which I am not entirely sure what that means, has left me wondering if something like irony is somehow involved here. I mean, even though it's so clear in the three middle tracks, which are about idiot mortals playing idiot games and winning idiot prizes, I still think you can look at Achilles' lullaby and look at Thetis with Achilles and the way that she sings in that song and go, that is actually super ironic if that's like what you want, and like actions and what you're singing about, they're not matching here. So it's a different kind of irony, but I don't know. And here we come again to the final track, Don't You Run, Oh Eros. I'm assuming this is Eros and Psyche. It's kind of his most famous myth, so I mean, nothing else is really popping into my head. So I don't know, maybe I'm totally wrong on the through line. In terms of like, is there a thematic through line? I don't know, we'll see. The real question, honestly, is what delightful bit of music will grace my ears? Part of the fun of Stories from STYX has been consistently between Volume 1 and 2 for me, has been the fact that I can never really anticipate what I'm going to get sonically or musically. And every time it has done something that I find incredibly entertaining and really sets like a visual in my head. Now, the crazy thing about, we'll say, Eros and Psyche is the story that's most famous for them, which is this idea that, like, we'll say Aphrodite tests her. It's not actually Aphrodite, it's Venus testing her. And it comes to us from a Roman writer. This satirical work, or at least it's written by a satirist, called, of all things, The Golden Ass. Yeah, it is called that. So again, when you're talking mythology, for a lot of people, it can be really tough to parse, like, the Roman stuff that is wholly original to the Romans and like what is potentially has a Greek influence or has some sort of clear pre-existence in the Greek mythology. For example, I always say a good example is like the story of Arachne. Yes, the most famous and I believe our earliest written occurrence of the story of Arachne does come to us from Ovid, and I do believe it is his Metamorphoses. But we have art and other stuff from Greece that's depicting that story, so we know that, okay, that has a Greek mythological tradition. Now, the character of Psyche is sort of mentioned, we'll say, going all the way back to Homer. Of course, when he talks about the Psyche, he's talking about the soul. And it's really about how the Psyche, the soul of mortals, when they die, it kind of flits away, it leaves the body and immediately starts traveling on to the underworld. And the way that it's described, a lot of people make the comparison with like butterflies and butterfly wings, and then later I do believe Psyche as a character ends up getting personified that way. So Psyche is the goddess of the soul. Certainly the idea of that word meaning soul is present. So that could be the tradition, but the story of her in Eros and the story of her and Aphrodite, which, I mean, it really should be, it's a story of her and Cupid and a story of her and Venus. Our earliest account of any of that does come from Roman sources. I think, I'm gonna look because I can't remember what comes first, the Golden Ass. I was double checking because it was bothering me. The story of Cupid and Psyche does appear in Greek art prior to the Golden Ass being written. So okay, we do have a Greek mythic tradition. It was really bothering me, guys. I literally had to pause. It would all get put under this umbrella of what often gets called classical mythology, because that's kind of an umbrella term that encompasses the Greeks and the Romans. Because yes, the Romans copied Greece's homework and appropriated a lot of it and even tried to essentially include themselves in a ton of it, i.e. something like the Trojan War, but it is still pretty uniquely their own, and And then this was something that Rome just kind of did. They didn't just do it to the Greeks, they did it all over the place. I mean, the Etruscans are another really big culture where you can look and go, oh yeah, like you appropriated Mithras and all of these other things. And of course, at least as it pertains to the Greek gods and everything else, they appropriated them and they changed a bunch of them. They changed them to fit their society. So those are no longer the Greek gods, or in some ways even much like them. I mean, Ares and Mars are not equivalents to each other at all, like in any way. I have not really read Eros and Psyche all that closely, because their one encounter is coming from, again, the golden ass, and it was never a deep focus of mine. Maybe I'll have to go read some more in Eros and Psyche. But let's get into the song.
All is fair in love and war, but where is the boundary set? Aphrodite tasks Psyche with impossible odds to redeem herself to a betrayed lover, Eros. With the weight of the world on her shoulders, will she conquer impossible odds? You tell me.
Okay, all's fair in love and war, but where is the boundary set? That's a good question, and it makes me think of how the Greeks at least believed that sexual love and the bloodlust of war, so well, really the two different kinds of lusts, come from ultimately a root emotion, this idea of intense desire. And it can obviously offshoot in different directions, which, hey, maybe that's why Aphrodite and Ares are constantly linked together, why they just apparently just need to hook up. I mean, even though literally every other Olympian cannot stand Ares. And if you think I'm kidding, go and read book 5 of the Iliad, where Zeus literally says, I hate you most of all the Olympians, to Ares' face, and says basically, if you were not my son, I'd have thrown you in Tartarus a long time ago to go rot beside the Titans who lost the Titanoboch. Yeah, it's pretty brutal, actually. But yeah, like, nobody can stand Ares. No, nobody can stand Ares except for Aphrodite, apparently. But, yeah. I like that ostinato in the back.
Arrows don't run through the night. Your face don't scare me none. I promise that we'll dignify whatever we become.
Ooh.
I'll sort the seeds and plant them, little helpers drawn to my quest. I will mend and ignite the kindle you wear as a dress.
Her voice is gorgeous.
Eros, don't you run away from me. Oh, Eros, I'm sorry I burned you.
When will I trust you
Mistakes that
again?
have me shine.
Is that Eros? Yes, that's Eros. His voice is really... Is that a... Okay. This is gonna sound like a very strange question, the way I'm about to ask it. Is that like a female alto? It sounds like a woman who has a much lower range. It doesn't sound like... Or it's a really... I mean, a man who's got a really high timbre, like... Not quite on the level of something like a countertenor, or like very old school as to how they would achieve that often. We're with castrati, and I'm not implying that. It was just the voice. It's an interesting choice. The choice for Eros' voice is really interesting. Because to be fair, he's so often, and especially by the time you hit Rome, portrayed as like a little kid running around at like Aphrodite's ankles. But he is meant to be a young man, like an adult, like clearly of marriageable age and all of that kind of thing, which I mean was still probably pretty young, let's be real. I mean, well, okay, to be fair, we don't actually know. There's a whole argument of what constituted, like, what was the age threshold that meant you were an adult in ancient Greece. And it's like, oh, buddy, we've been wondering that question for a long time. And also by the time you hit the classical age and you're in the different city-states, would depend on which city-state you're in. Like we know in classical Athens, you had to be 20. 20 was the threshold of classical Athens, but that doesn't mean that applied to other city-states. Going back even further, you're kind of in question mark territory. Maybe he's just got a higher voice. Sorry, I was just so startled by his voice. I was like, oh, that sounds like another woman who's singing, but I think that's meant to be Eros. Interesting. Interesting.
How do I takes to get back on track? Back on track.
Alright, I'm gonna cheat, and I never usually do this, but I want to know who sings. Actor. Nox Andromeda. Your name is awesome, by the way. Okay, Nox. You have a voice I did not expect. That's all. No other commentary on that, just a voice I did not expect. It'll take me a second to get used to, because their timbres are really similar. So I'm having to make sure I'm hearing the right person.
God of the river told secrets from the realms that burn like the sun.
The god of the river told secrets from the realms that burn like the sun. Okay. So we're going through all of the different quests that Psyche has to go through in the Golden Ass. The sorting of the grain, there is a divine voice by the river, calls her. I don't know if it's specified. It's been a really long time since I read the Golden Ass. So like, again, I read it while I was studying Latin, and it's been a while. It's been a long freaking while. I remember there's a god, like one of whatever, probably the god of whatever river she's next to, and I can't even remember if the river's specified. Calls out to her and gives her a hint. She has to go get a golden fleece. Hence, I'm assuming where the whole idea of where stuff is like burned by the sun, it's these golden fleece. And the golden fleece, or golden rams, if you will, are often so directly associated with Helios. Part of that likely comes from the golden fleece, like with the story of Jason and the Argonauts. It's being held by a son of Helios. It's, coming down from in the bloodline of Helios. And then next, if I recall, she has to get like water from the Styx. Like she's got to do her own kind of journey down into the underworld. I'm sure I'll be reminded as the song goes on.
Shrouded in shades, I unperched them before I was overrun. Oh, Eros, I am one fire spun.
Oh.
Oh, Eros, I wonder if virtue will smile upon the brave.
I will not be a
Thoughts that I'd ever desert you, I'll take them to our grave.
Our grave
The king of the gods has declared it. As the hawk to a spring become,
a spring be
guarded by mythical creatures.
I mean, I'm assuming we're talking about the Styx here, but I'm with Eros. Our grave? Like, honey, I'm immortal. I don't have a grave. What are you talking about? I like Eros being like, our grave? Like, you and me? I don't die. I don't know what you're talking about, but I don't die. Because Psyche at this point is mortal. It's always a mortal going through these tests.
Like lightning, how it stuns. Oh, Eros, I am close, for I'm a rose.
Huh.
Oh, lover, I see how you try to amend the fiery damage you've caused us again. I'm firm in my...
I mean, although you try to amend the fiery damage you caused us, it's like... Aphrodite wants to always take vengeance on Psyche. She never wants to take any sort of vengeance or revenge on Eros. She loves, I should say, she loves her son. Well, we've seen questionable parents' ideas of love. This is about her hatred for Psyche. Eros is ultimately almost like irrelevant in the equation. So yeah, the whole issue with like, what have you done to us? I mean, Eros, his trust has been violated in this story. Absolutely. His trust is violated. Because the whole thing is that she was never supposed to look upon him. He would only visit her at night and, no candles, no fires, no nothing, so she can't see. I mean, it is a little weird. This is where I often go, you unfortunately kind of have to hand wave and say the gods are a little weird. Look, Zeus comes to Leda in the form of a swan. Okay, like, you have to accept there's an element of weird. Psyche is convinced by her sisters that, like, oh, well, there was that prophecy that you're gonna be married to some horrible serpentine monster, so, like, I mean, if he's banging you, what exactly are you banging? I'm just saying, what are you married to? So that is where she violates Eros' trust by, you've made her promise you'll never try to look at me, and she has a candle, and she looks at him, and that piece of, like, hot wax falls on him, and he awakes and basically runs away. He feels so betrayed that he runs off. It's all very weird and nonsensical. Maybe that's why it comes from something called the golden fucking ass. But okay. Yeah, her other trial, so obviously this is referring to when she has to go down to the underworld. I can't remember exactly what she has to get in the underworld. It's like a jar or a box. I think it's got something in it. I can't remember what she needs to get exactly. I think it has something to do with Persephone, but I can't remember exactly. It's been a really long time, guys. Like, I am trying. My brain is, like, flipping through the file of facts in my brain, trying to recall all the details, and I'm blanking.
My stance, but when you take a glance, I'll know that the fate spoke true.
Oh, Eros, I fall to the ground that was promised not to hurt me. I glanced at Persephone's beauty.
Ah! That was it. She had to get, like, some sort of embodiment of a bit of Persephone's beauty, or, like, the essence of it, and put it in the box. Yeah, that was it. I'm remembering this story alongside the song all at the same time. Can we tell how long it's been that I'm like, what does she have to get? Oh, the song tells me. Of course it does. And so she does kind of, yeah, okay. It's coming. It's all coming back to me. She has to get the box with the bit of Persephone's beauty, because Aphrodite told her that Eros' wound is so terrible, the bit of hot wax that fell on him. And I'm like, yeah, oh, it's so terrible. We watch gods get healed like that in the Iliad. It's literally almost instantaneous. The healer rolls up, he goes, here you go, done. Ares has a gut wound, and it's done in a second. So I'm like, oh, yeah, okay, he's terribly wounded. I mean, look, hot wax hitting the skin fucking hurts. Let's not deny that. It's gonna be healed in a second. And by this point, that shit's fucking healed. But Aphrodite, like, claims she needs this. And of course, rather like Pandora, rather like Orpheus, like, don't open the box, don't look back. Psyche opens the box. Can't help it. And it basically, all the little weird mnemonic cues I've used, it pulls a Sleeping Beauty. It instead of finding any sort of beauty or whatever she sees, it's like infernal, or I think it gets called, like, almost like Stygian, sort of, like, all associated with death, like some sort of sleep. It turns her into fucking Sleeping Beauty. Like, she passes out. I don't know how else to describe it. And it takes Eros, basically, who's now, of course, fucking healed. He's probably been healed for a while. Frankly, I like to say that he's probably nursing his psychological wound of feeling betrayed. Though, let's be real. You wanted to marry a girl and have her never look at you. Buddy, this had to... Whatever, we can't make sense of the gods' behavior. They're gods. He basically busts out, runs away from home. He busts out to go find Sleeping Beauty, Sleeping Psyche. And he, like, takes the sleep off of her, whatever, he lifts the curse. I don't think it's done with, like, a kiss a la Sleeping Beauty, but he removes, like, the sleep from her, puts it back in the box. And eventually they get married. Anyway, I've now remembered the story. I mean, yeah, you're a human.
Oh, Eros, as I fade, you're my escape.
That's not healthy. That's Titanomachia. Ah, this must be Eros getting her. Oh, okay. Okay.
Eros,
I know.
Aw. Cuties. Okay. That's smart, harkening back to Titanomachia for what is essentially her, we'll call it her apotheosis, her ascension to divinity. That's cute. I love that musically. That's a great cue to signal that, like, you're one of the few mortals who's getting a chance to ascend to the Theoi in some way. That was adorable. I loved that musically. The voice of Eros threw me, if only because I was like, it just wasn't what I expected. That's all. It's not bad. It's beautiful, in fact. These two, obviously, their voices work in tandem really well together. Their timbres are really similar, though. So at times I was like, who's singing which line? Wait, hold on a second. But no, it was very beautiful. That's a really great rundown of the trials that Psyche goes through in The Golden Ass. Obviously, you cut out the whole front bit and the scheming. Well, are they scheming, honestly? You cut out the bit with her sisters and with the initial betrayal, and just have it be the trials of her wander around and do all sorts of random stuff. The Greeks love a good random trial. I mean, look, I can tell you, the Greeks were a highly competition-driven culture. Super competitive. They loved a good contest. So the idea that you have to, this is why so many of these heroes or other characters have to go through tests and trials and tribulations. They love a good competition. They love a good test. What can we say? That was lovely. I'm starting to think that maybe my thought of this as irony is wrong. What is the thematic through line? And I'm not asking to be like as a criticism. I just genuinely don't know what it is. Because I don't know what the first echoes refers to. Like, does it mean something? What does it mean? What does it mean? I need to know what it means. I like to know the whys. I like to know what things mean. That was lovely, though. And the singer for Psyche, I know I was sort of fixated on the singer for Eros, but the singer for Psyche was beautiful. Very beautiful. Oh, that was lovely. The animatics should be fun. I've been told the animatics are great. So, visuals are next, guys.